We need to stop saying, I'm sorry. And I might be a little bit hypocritical by saying that, because I say I'm sorry constantly, and I'm sure you do as well, which is one of the main reasons we need to stop saying it. Now, you can find tons of videos on YouTube about reasons why you shouldn't say I'm sorry based on psychological reasons or from a business standpoint, but I'm not going to talk about any of those reasons. We need to stop saying I'm sorry because we're not. The majority of the time we're using these two words, we're not truly sorry. It's almost as like it's filler because we don't know what else to do, so we're apologizing for ourselves or mistakes that we had no control over. Personally, I'm a cashier, so I work in the customer service industry. So I say this word so many times to problems that are either of the store or of the customer, where I have to find myself apologizing because of a mistake that I could not prevent. Let me run you through a scenario. Say you're walking to the store and you turn a corner to go down the cereal aisle, and all of a sudden you find yourself face to face with another person, almost running into each other. And what's the first thing both of you almost immediately say? I'm sorry, or sorry, didn't see you there, or my bad, or something along those lines. Now, it's neither of your faults. You didn't see each other. You didn't, this wasn't something you purposely did. Both of you had somewhere to be. You both had an agenda, and you both got in each other's way. That's nothing to be sorry about. So why do we say it? Why is that the first thing to come to our minds? Are we just trained to automatically apologize no matter what? When you're in primary school and you do something or say something mean to another kid, what's the first thing that either a parent or a teacher will ask or tell you to do? They'll say, did you say sorry? And that's one of the reasons I think this is drilled in our head that we need to constantly be apologizing for things. Now, of course, I'm not defending being mean to anyone, because you should always be a nice person, or at least try, or don't. But from a young age, we've been taught to apologize for things, even things that weren't preventable. Especially in the generation I grew up in. I was on the border of millennials and the one that's right after that. I don't remember. Was that Gen Z or whatever? Um, so I was born right in between those two. So with the generation I grew up in, we were kind of told that everything was our fault. I mean, especially you see with millennials. Oh, millennials are killing the ring industry, or millennials are killing the laundry detergent industry. So everything, a lot of things get blamed on our generations. And the older generations expect us to be sorry for these things, even if they're not necessarily our fault. But okay, it's just a figure of speech, right? Well, not necessarily. I mean, although we almost use it as that, like I said before, filler or something, the word sorry has a lot of meaning to it. When you are truly sorry for something, it's showing remorse. It's showing that you truly want to justify your actions, or at least that's what it should be. But because we use sorry so often and for such little things, it tends to lose its meaning. That pretty much goes with anything that you use too much. The more you use it, the less value or the less meaning it's going to have. So how do we resolve this issue? We could try to stop saying sorry altogether. And I can tell you from experience that it's a hard thing to do. We've done it so much through our lives that actually trying to avoid the word is difficult because we do it without even thinking. What I've been trying to do, and what I've seen a lot of times, is people try to replace the word sorry with thank you. And I think that's something positive that you can do. Because one of the problems we have is that we apologize for things that are not our fault, and we don't show enough gratitude. So there's many ways that you can do this. Instead of saying sorry for keeping you waiting, say thanks you for your patience. Instead of saying sorry for getting in your way, say thank you for allowing me through. Simple things like that, just simple changes in the way you speak and the way you act, can change how people perceive you a lot. And if you're somebody who doesn't say sorry to little things, when somebody hears you say sorry and when somebody watches you show remorse, it's going to show a lot more meaning to them. And again, this is going to be something that's difficult to do, especially if you're in positions where you're the only one seen at a problem and you're the one handling it. We've said I'm sorry so often throughout our lives that trying to not say it or replace it with something else is difficult because we unconsciously do this. So, what's the point in all this? Well, the short answer is I don't know. This is something I've had on my chest recently, something I've been tossing around in my head, and I just wanted to express somewhere and get out. And hopefully, if I post it online, it'll help me to achieve this goal. And I persuade anybody who's watching this to do the same. It's January 12th, the time I'm making this. I know it's a little late, but it's the beginning of 2019. So start a New Year's resolution. You know, start not saying I'm sorry anymore. And start thanking more people. And show a little more gratitude. Thanks to anyone who watched this. I doubt anyone actually did. But if you did, feel free to check out my other channel. I make tutorial videos. I currently only have one video on there, but hopefully I'll make more in the future if I'm not as lazy as I am. So yeah, and if there's any tutorials you want to see, head on over there and type that in the comments below. Anything you want to see me talk about here, again, feel free down in the comments.